what's the crack? This is the earliest I've been on my site in a long time. So decided to get out early because I'm finishing early. But yeah, again, today after Valentine's Day, hope you all had a great time, even if it's well past by the time I get this uploaded, which it no doubt will be. So, where did we finish off? Did a lot of electrics, fixing them, and did a wee couple of bits of boarding here, and one on there. So now what I'm going to do, guys, is I'm just going to square this wee piece off, this wee triangle, to there. Then I'm going to start another full sheet right over. So I need to shift the lights that are screwed up above. Might actually just bring them over here and just screw them on this area for now, because it's still dark and they're giving a good bit of light. I also need to get all this rubbish out and away, but I'll worry about that. That'll be my last wee job that I do. But first, I really want to get this plasterboard of this ceiling done out of the way. Then I'm going to go for a cupboard. It's nice and dark in there, but I have a few things to do. There's a light and there's loads of pipes to cut around. Then I'm going to jump in here, get this bathroom done. Then I'm going to jump into the bedroom here, which I'll probably not get it done, but I'll get as close as humanly possible. But if we get all that done, it's quite a lot of floorboards that I can put on up above. This whole side I think can be boarded, more or less, or floored, sorry. Well, possibly. Trying to think, can I board the electric room? I think I can. Yeah, I can actually board this and this. Possibly, can I? There's some outside lights to go on. So I'll probably not go as far as them two wee rooms. If I'm getting on really well, I'll start boarding this side here of this big room. So there you go, guys. That's the mission today, to do as much as possible. Have a wee triangle bit in there. I bet you that fits somewhere out here. I'm definitely going to pull it out and have a wee look. I think there's also another smaller piece in here. So this is why you don't throw them all out, guys, when you're doing the awkward bits. Again, you know, a piece like that, it might seem stupid, guys, but I don't like, I'm a guy, I don't really like waste. Now, I don't really believe in carrying loads of plasterboard in the van because it just gets crushed and busted all over the place. But, you know, even if I don't use this up here, which I am about to, this could still be a wee patch, you know. So keeping wee bits it's not stingy, it's not miserable, it's just recycling, really. If you can keep a couple of wee bits like that, guys, if you're a plasterer or DIY, if you keep a couple of wee bits about, they do come in handy. But I will note one thing with you: the older plasterboard gets, the quicker it dries the plaster. So be careful if you keep one that's like a year or two old. You know, you're gonna have to PVA it before you skim it. Otherwise, it's going to just suck in like crazy. And lots of people don't actually know that, but there you go. That's your fun fact for the day. I'm just looking here and don't have these two joists marked too well, so I'm going to mark them over there. They're not really, you can just about see them over there. But my problem with these walls is, you know, when I'm putting the boards up tight, sometimes it's making false marks on me because it's scraping, you know, so I end up having to figure out what the joists are all over again. But yeah, first task is going to be putting a wee piece on here, and then I can start a full piece right across. So let's get these lights over and let's get to work. Guys, got the old laser level hooked up again. As you can see, try to get point to point. Hard to actually get it out of a pencil marker. It's actually about an inch and a half away from that. But really, all I needed to know was roughly about here to get this cut. And I have it all transferred, marked out here, point to point. So I'm going to go ahead there and just cut that, and hopefully I'm right. Hopefully I'm not wrong. I'll just destroy the whole sheet. No, I think my working out's wouldn't be too far away. So let's chop it up and I'll show you if we got it right or not. I'm going to turn this laser level off because I keep staring at it. Between them lights and the laser, I'm getting blinded. This will kind of be the moment of truth now, I guess. It's not looking too bad so far. Sort of shaping up. The wires are in the way. Don't want them getting caught up. Right, not bad guys, just need to reorganize it here. A wee bit. Not too far away, I don't think. To readjust. I'll just show you here quickly. Just a wee quick push down and in, and she'll be sitting perfect. So I'll show you that when I get it all screwed up and on to the next cut. But I'm glad that worked. Took a bit of time, just take your time, figured it out, measure 13 times and cut once, you know. I do need to do a wee slide adjustment. Just a bit too tight on that end. If I take a wee scribe off that, it should fall in here. As you can see, I can't leave that much of a gap. It's just a wee bit too big. So if I just take a wee slice off, it should fall in. Just really, you know, 10 mil into nothing. There we go guys, I'm proud of myself. Again, just took a wee bit off one end into nothing. Nothing, no real gaps there. And she's all nice and flush here, and I have half a joist to catch my next very awkward cut, but at least with that one it's a lot smaller, so not too bad. Again, might just put another one here anyway, halfway, but I figured out what's easy. I might go for what's easy for a change, because on the next ones I need to make sure I mark my lights. Again, might throw the laser level up to mark them somewhat in the line this way, just to make it easy for myself. I'll have the edge of the board. No, I'll probably just mark them off the edge of the board here to whatever that is, but I might need the laser level just to line them dots up. So that laser level is coming in very handy for certain jobs, big time. I have my two spotlights sort of measured and marked out where they're going to be. I'm going to put this next one up, and I measured some working out's done there, but I'm going to finish this row here right across. And it just occurred to me, you probably have to have some good understanding when you are boarding, and you want to make sure you're plastering the right side of the board. And I see boarders and joiners putting the brown side down when it should have been white side, or even the back of some boards are fully brown. And I've even seen them running around me. But again, it comes to these triangles. Sometimes you measure, mark, and then cut and realise you've went the wrong angle. So it's always kind of important to understand what edges you're keeping and where. So I know this corner here is me there. So that'll be an up, but it can be very confusing. Even just as I was saying before the camera decided to run out of charge on me, it's just sort of important to remember what corner goes to your next corner and understanding what way it flips, which can be, like I said, even for the most experienced guys, it's just, you know, you're going to make mistakes as well. So with that note, guys, let's hope I got lucky again here. And if I have got lucky for like the, I don't know how many awkward cuts this house has been. If I've got lucky again, maybe it's not luck. But let's see. I don't think I'm going to use this bad boy because it's just kind of going to be in the way. So I'm just going to lift this one up myself. It's only about a bit over half a sheet, so not be too heavy. Still be awkward, but I have the props sitting ready. So let's see if I got lucky again. Again, guys, a lot of woodwork up in there, which I spent doing one night, I think before Christmas or something. So hopefully that paid off for me. And things are going to go nice and smooth. Plenty of places to screw anyway. So let's see. So, definitely cut something wrong. Or haven't. No, haven't. Thought I cut my length wrong there. Wee bit of a struggle there, guys. Wee bit far away from it, but let's get a wee look-see here. So yeah, got lucky again, I think. For a second there I thought I hadn't cut my length right, but I'm spot on. Wee bit more out here than I thought. I tried to allow myself a wee bit more this time because I was sick of fighting it and I knew I wasn't going to use that lift. So that's why it's not a massive gap. It's not going to be a massive gap up there. Again, when it comes rendering, it'll be probably filled out then. I could put a wee tiny piece in if it need to be. Or when I render, skim, tape, bond and skim, it's going to be well and truly covered. So all I'm going to do, guys, is just make sure and put a straight edge across here and just make sure it's as straight as I can possibly get it, and then I'm going to just fix that off. More than happy that I've got lucky once again. Just need to get lucky another 3 or 4 times out on this awkward bit, and then there's an awkward angle inside that cupboard that I need to get lucky with as well. That's that one screwed up, and again getting a nice perimeter bunch of screws in because I have all these extra bits of timber added in along the edges, so that just gives me nice solid ground to screw to. Also, if I do corners out here, I know I can hit something potentially around them edges, especially in that wee awkward spot. It's not just plasterboard hanging, although I will be gluing corners up if I do corners also. But yeah, on to the next awkward cut. So I can go either side really, doesn't matter. I can start here or I can come over here. Doesn't really matter. I will most likely work off this one though, because I have a lot of working outs already measured out and stuff, so I roughly know where I'm going with it. I'll probably use the lift for this one. That was a bit awkward, but the lift would have been it just too much in the way of screwing. Plus, I had to move all these bags of cement and stuff, which are probably nearly out of date by this stage. But we'll see if we can maybe use them scratch coat something inside the garage or something, just so it's not a complete waste of money. You know. I think, guys, it's definitely gonna need bolting here. I can see that joist there just sits up a bit, and there's a bit of a bump here, so we'll need to work from there to there, so about this line to this line. But once I put my bead on here, I'll concentrate get that nice and plumb, and or if it can't be plumb, if it's miles off, I'll just get it nice and straight, and then I'll pull off them two angles so that it looks good. But I think I'm gonna have to run the speed skim right down the middle of that one, because I can just see it by eye, so I know it's there. And know if we go up there and check up a straight edge, you'll see it too. Unfortunately, I didn't see it earlier, or I might have tried to pack it down or something. But it doesn't matter. I can just bond the life out of it. More bonded on the ceiling, the better, because fireproof it. My only concern now is that there's a bit of a bump up above. It's just going to be harder putting the floor down, you know, the timber, 25mm heavy stuff. Okay, so my luck nearly ran out here, because this one did challenge me. It nearly made my head explode actually. Must have measured and marked. I was measuring and marking on the white side, which I haven't done in a long time, so I think that kind of popped me out a wee bit. But hopefully this fits. Also, it's just awkward. It's an awkward wee size regardless. So hopefully I've got it, guys. Fingers crossed. Hope you're wishing me well on this one. Not too bad sitting there, guys, so let's see if I get lucky again. This time I do feel lucky if this does work. Again, it's going to overhang here at the bulkhead sort of area. Not worried about that. It's not looking too bad on this area. Just readjust it here. I think we've got nothing again. There's like a wee sneller here. So sometimes you have to just be a wee bit rough with it, guys. Not overly, but just enough to get to where you want to be. And that, my friends, is looking good. Not at all worried about there's a wee overhang here. I can cut that off, the saw, pad saw, the Stanley knife. A million tools to cut that off. So, there we go, guys. Pretty happy with that one. I'm just actually come this way a wee bit. Oh. pretty happy with that one, guys. I do feel like I got pretty lucky. I knew there was a wee snutter. Blocks just sitting a bit too far, but here we are. Pretty good, guys. I'm gonna let it go at that and get it all screwed off. A couple of joists, I've made some sort of notes on the walls. A couple of joists kind of change shape and stuff, so I need to be careful of them when I'm screwing. And try and remember what I was doing with them. And then just mark out my electric wire there. Again, it's a spotlight, so it can all be done afterwards, but I want to leave physical marks on the plasterboard. Then I'm going to make a note in the book, and then I'm also going to stick wee stickers up that'll sort of rust through and show me exactly where my marks are. And then with the measurements wrote down and laser level and the marks, surely I can't go wrong. Surely that's absolute foolproof. That's that one all fixed up. Just need to mark back my cable there and really scribble that one out in case somebody thinks that mark was a cable. But yeah, you can see, came in not too bad around the awkward angle. Again, lots of timbers in here to get a good perimeter fixing. So you might be in a rush sometimes, guys, to cut these things off and get it nice and neat. So I'm gonna have to just saw it across, then Stanley snap cut. But don't do it yet, because I can use that as a reference point to measure. I know exactly, well, pretty much exactly where that end of that board is. So it means that I just need, realistically, I only need 2 or 3 measurements to get this next board in across. So gonna play with it as is and then cut it off afterwards. And it's not a big deal to cut it after, as long as it's helping me. And it's definitely not in the way, so keep it on, guys. Measure off it, and hopefully this one's a little less sore on the brain. That one really was burning a hole in the brain there. Right, guys, so last big piece, and then just 2 wee triangles afterwards. So let's hopefully get this squeezed in nice and tight. Again, this plasterboard lift does help big time, guys. Loosen the wee twist. Wait, I need to hopefully this one works. Quite a hard one because it's point to point, really. What's looking better? It's still far away there. Let's see. So we can come out this way back too. So I'm going to try and go up and see if we can readjust it afterwards. Needs to go in towards the wall. Might just need to take a wee sliver off this back end here. I can see the blocks are sitting like a pyramid shape almost, so I might need to just trim that to get it in. First. Yeah. So there we go, guys. At least it fits. It's not looking too bad. Actually, going to trim that. It's going to look better again. Only a wee 10mm, so just the thickness of the knife across it. And then I'll show you it all screwed up and with them wee pieces on. And then we'll move on to the next room and try and get as much done there as humanly possible. So, started off there one day, and then here the next. And then backfilling, and here we are, all done. Obviously these sides still need plasterboard on them along here, but I'm not going to worry about that yet until we figure out maybe about stairs and stuff, measurements for that, whether or not I have to put a piece of board and stuff over here for building control. I think I do, but we'll see. We'll see if I get the plans in quick enough. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Tidy enough for the boarding. here. Gives me plenty of options what I can do. Possibly should have left an overhang there, but I think we'll see what happens. Just for the fact of, if I do use insulated board, there'll be a wee strip of foam on me down. Won't be a big deal. Scrim tape, bonnet skim will be alright, but wee bit slight more chance of cracking. Again, bit of a gap here, but when you look on the door frame, it closes it in. So I checked it with a straight edge. But now I'm going to challenge myself to board this in 1 hour, and this. I've got no hope, because in there's a couple of awkward cuts again. But yeah, what do you think, guys? Nice tidy boarding. I think the plaster will be delighted to be getting bonnet skim over it. He'll be over the moon, no doubt. Nearly absolutely smashed my board there. Definitely bent a wee bit, but once I screw it up, it should be okay. Have all my spotlights worked out. I noticed the sparks had a wee diagram there, so just measured everything nice and equal. So that'll be easy to mark. And again, that middle one, I'm just going to take whatever that is, and just cut it in half, put that bang there. In fact, pretty sure that white line is already that. So yeah, the only way to get the boards in is long ways up the way and then tipped in. I nearly smashed that board to pieces doing it. My next challenge here is the wee socket here. But what I do is just wet around the edges of it, and I'll square it up, and then I'll give the board a wee bang, 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 and then drop it down, and it should give me the imprint of my saliva, my spit, and then just cut that box out and straight back up, guys. So let's give it a go and see how we get on. So here we are, guys. I just need to fix these wires here. You can see that I've ended up very lopsided. Need to pull this over a wee bit, but I just used the Spear & Jackson or clips prop just to pump it up one end, as you can see, just to balance me out, and then put another one there, precaution. I also clamped this because I needed to go up at such an angle. It was sliding on me too much, so I had to clamp it. Again, the clips clamp. So those wee things have come in nice and handy. Again, I've had another person with me. I've just asked them to pull that side down as I prop the whole thing up. But once I get it sort of in the position here, I actually couldn't even reach in to wet that box, so I'm just going to have to put it up in the position and then give it a wee boom boom with a hammer, and hopefully that leaves me enough of an imprint to drop it down and get that wee socket cut out, because I can't reach it from above because of the grounds. So there is no reaching it from above. So that's one piece in. Looks a bit rough and battered up that side there, but I'll tidy it up. That was very, very awkward. I think the next couple won't be just as awkward, because not only was the prop, the plasterboard jack falling down into the hole there, but I had a socket to cut out, which I don't have that. Everything's just going to be straight. And what I might do is just take a wee 1/4 inch off the board too, because just a wee bit less struggling would be handy. I do want it as tight as possible in here, especially that side, because I've only got half a joist on that side, as it's half and half on the block. So yeah, get this screwed and on to the next one. So took me way too long to do 2 boards, mostly because that socket very awkward to get at, and the room just being very, very tight to the board. Definitely think I'm going to trim one before I just do quit here, but that's me for now, guys. Unfortunately didn't get in that wee sitting down there, but it's only a couple more boards. 4 more boards does this section, but at least I got all this awkward stuff. It's all very slow plasterboard work here, very, very, very slow. And again, like I said, you're starting to see more the shape of everything now. So yeah, happy enough. Still loads to do, always loads to do, but that's a good thing. It means I'll never be bored. I'll always be kept busy. So next time I'm out, there'll be another more or less full board here, and probably a half a board. So we do have enough in here to do to finish, and it's just good. And maybe strip left to, you know, finish off one of these rooms if needs be. Don't think particularly need it, but if I do, at least it's there. But yeah, things are really starting to close in well, guys. Like for instance, there's the bedroom down there and the 2 wee rooms off it, the cupboard and the rest of that bathroom to board. And then I'll probably jump in, start boarding out these wee ceilings whenever we get the electrics reorganised. Whatever way that has to be done. And again, I'm gonna put a 4-inch pipe in here. Yeah, I'll figure something out, whether it goes straight up and out the roof, but I'd rather go out the wall. Just think it's a bit safer for leakage. And then again, some installations to do, and then we can board. But yeah, that's about it for now, guys. I'm just gonna pack a few things up, set some plasterboard so it won't bend, because it might be a couple of weeks before I'm back out. So yeah, just reorganize a few things and then I will call it a day.
Like and subscribe to Plastering.